Honoring Mary's dedication. Her presentation. The memorial of the presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, celebrated on November 21st, is a significant feast for Catholics and many Christians worldwide. Rooted in tradition, this memorial honors Mary's consecration to God as a child, symbolizing her total dedication to Him. This special day offers believers an opportunity to reflect on Mary's unique role in salvation history and to be inspired by her unwavering devotion. While not recorded in the canonical Gospels, the story of Mary's presentation is found in early Christian writings, particularly the Proto-Evangelium of James, which recounts how Mary's parents, Joachim and Anne, brought her to the temple in Jerusalem as a young girl. They dedicated her to God, an act of faith and gratitude after their prayers for a child were answered. Origins and significance. The memorial of the presentation of Mary has roots dating back to the early Church. Around the 6th century, Christians in Jerusalem began observing this day, inspired by the belief that Mary, like Jesus, was consecrated to God from an early age. This belief emphasizes Mary's purity and holiness, setting the stage for her role as the Mother of God. In the 14th century, Pope Gregory XI officially instituted the feast, and Pope Sixtus V later extended it to the Universal Church. The presentation of Mary highlights her lifelong dedication to God's will. From the moment of her Immaculate Conception, Mary was set apart to fulfill a divine purpose. This feast invites us to contemplate the way God's grace prepared her for her mission as the Mother of Jesus, and to remember that God's grace also prepares us for our own missions. As Mary was ready to embrace God's plan for her life, we too are called to discern and respond to His will with openness and faith. The spiritual importance of this memorial. The memorial of the presentation of Mary is a reminder of the beauty of consecration, of offering ourselves entirely to God. In an age where distractions abound, Mary's unwavering focus on God is a model for us. Her presentation signifies her commitment to a life rooted in grace and purpose, qualities we are encouraged to emulate. In dedicating Mary to God, Joachim and Anne entrusted their child to divine protection and guidance, reminding us of the power of surrendering our own lives to God's care. For Christians, observing this memorial provides an opportunity for spiritual renewal. Mary's example encourages us to embrace humility, purity, and a heart ready for God's service. This feast helps deepen our understanding of her vital role in salvation history and strengthens our relationship with her as a spiritual mother and guide. Practical ways to celebrate the memorial of the presentation of Mary. Christians can observe this memorial in several meaningful ways. Prayer and reflection. Spend time in prayer, asking Mary to help you draw closer to God. The Rosary, particularly the Joyful Mysteries, is an ideal way to meditate on Mary's life and her example of perfect obedience. Read about Mary's life. Reflecting on Mary's life in Scripture can deepen your appreciation of her unique role in salvation. Although the canonical Gospels don't detail her childhood, passages such as the Annunciation, Luke 1 verses 26 to 38, and the Magnificat, Luke 1 verses 46 to 55, reveal her humble acceptance of God's will. Acts of consecration. Consider renewing your personal consecration to Jesus through Mary, or if you haven't yet done so, make a Marian consecration. St. Louis, Delaware Montfort's true devotion to Mary provides an accessible pathway for this dedication, helping you entrust your life to God through Mary's intercession. Family devotion. Families can gather to pray, read about Mary, or share stories about saints who had a particular devotion to her. Just as Joachim and Anne dedicated Mary to God, families can ask Mary to watch over and guide each member, fostering a spirit of faith at home. Community involvement. Parishes may host special Marian processions or devotions on this day. Participating in these events strengthens communal bonds and expresses a shared devotion to Mary. Almsgiving and acts of charity. Mary's life was one of service, and following her example by performing acts of kindness and charity is a beautiful way to honor her. Consider volunteering or donating to those in need as a tribute to her compassion. Historical context and real-life inspiration. The memorial of the presentation of Mary may not have a detailed historical record in Scripture, but its spirit is alive in the lives of many Christians who seek to live a life dedicated to God. Mary's presentation serves as an inspiration for those who feel called to serve in religious vocations, as well as for laypeople striving to live with greater purpose and faith. Real-life examples of devotion to Mary can be seen in the lives of saints like Saint Therese of Lisieux, who had a deep love for Mary and viewed her as a model of perfect discipleship. Saint Maximilian Kolbe, another ardent devotee of Mary, considered her as mother and intercessor in all things, especially in his ultimate act of self-sacrifice. For these saints, Mary's life was a roadmap for selfless love, trust in God, and unwavering commitment to His will. Lessons and takeaways. The memorial of the presentation of Mary invites us to reflect on how we, like Mary, can consecrate our lives to God. It challenges us to consider how we respond to God's call and inspires us to be open to His plans, even when they're unknown or difficult to understand. Mary's early dedication to God reminds us that God's work in us often begins before we even realize it. In celebrating this day, we are reminded that Mary's yes to God was not only at the Annunciation but from the very beginning of her life. Her obedience and trust are models for us to imitate in our daily lives. This memorial encourages us to foster a deeper relationship with Mary, seeking her guidance as we strive to live as faithful disciples of Christ. The memorial of the presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary is more than just a day of remembrance. It's a call to imitate Mary's wholehearted devotion to God. As we honor her consecration, let's seek to emulate her love, humility, and openness to God's will, knowing that, like her, we are called to bring Christ into the world. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.